Okay, we're working on a series this month, and let me remind us all where we are. This is a series about how do we become greater and a greater expression of who we are ourselves. So week 1, we talked about creating new opportunities for our expansion and for including God energy as we build these desires, including the energy of God love in them, not just us doing them by ourselves. Everybody doing good on that one? All right, that's not a good return, but it's okay. I'll accept it. Yes. No, thank you. Okay, week 2, we talked about consistently investing in our desires that we're trying to create, and we talked about energy, attention, and action. How to really keep monitoring what we're feeding it. Anybody doing better on that one? Yeah. Okay, that's good. You guys like that one better. Okay. All right. This is all about expanding our lives for greater joy, experiences, creations, and etc. I'm going to use Life Without End a lot today. This was written by Glenda Green. She was meeting with Jesus, and these are things that were said. And so I wanted to read this to you. She was asking Jesus, do we have to go to a higher dimension to fulfill our love and purpose, to do our work and to be all that we were created to be? And how often is that discussion going on in metaphysical land? We're going to a higher dimension. I'm out of here. We need to, whatever. So, with a gentle touch of humor, Jesus said, the higher dimensions are in fine shape just as they are. You are here to further creation in this one. So if we hold that as our goal, that there is a reason for us being here, it's not for us to get out. We are here for a reason, so hold that. So this week's self-inventory, we're taking a look at our energy, our good intentions, and our personalities. So personalities, you learn this in metaphysics. Personalities is where we express to the world, we're all unique, but we're comfortable in how we're expressing to the world. It's programmed from youth, how our personalities are created. It's how we interact, how we relate. So when you guys see me speaking, I'm really asking my Christ to be fully present within me, and I'm asking to give you the message that God gave to me in a way that you can understand. And yeah, I get attached, and sometimes my stories are very personal. You will not see my personality overly much. On Tuesday night, it's the same thing. But be in a 2-hour class with me, and oh my God, you will see my personality. You will see me rev up. You'll see me get excited. I taught New Testament Thursday night, and someone, who shall be nameless, asked me, what about original sin? And I went, oh my God, do not get me started on that one. That belief has caused so much problems through Christendom. Do you see my attachment? Yes. So in our personalities, we get attached to our positions, we get attached to what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. So do you think our personalities have an effect on what we're trying to create? Yes, they do. So what we want to do is look at how do we present to the world? How do we present to the world? All right. So the inventory, self-inventory, is about looking at the ways we allow our Christ to express, and normally we would take this journey by examining ways our personality might be blocking or malforming our desires. Do you realize when your personality blocks or malforms your desires? Yeah. I get excited. I taught metaphysics Saturday morning. I was very excited. I don't realize that I use interesting adjectives, but it was pointed out to me. I do not cuss, but I borderline use words that are interesting adjectives, but I do not cuss. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know it. It's so natural for me. So I can look at that, and I can apologize to all my students, say, I'm so sorry I used that interesting adjective. Or we can go a different route. Because I think we all know, kind of, when our personality is putting energy out there that might be interesting. Do we not? Okay. So let's look at it let's go a different approach. When I'm doing something that is adverse to the creation of what I want, where is my focus? If my personality is really the one that's expressing, where's my focus? So they gave us this example. You guys, we've been working on a new car, right? In pretend land. So if I want a new car and I complain about my current car, My personality goes, I want a new car. Oh, God, this car. Where's my focus? So if my personality sees the problems and seeks to have a problem to justify its desire, I need to blame this car so I can give myself permission to have a new one. Okay? What am I doing but creating a focus for malfunction of my desire so that my new car comes in with the same problems? Okay? So this energy of not investing in a positive way through a personality becomes formative. Okay? I think you guys got it, right? All right. I intend to be positive until I intend to be pessimistic, and I tend to be grumpy, and I tend to be judgmental because it's easy. Do you see the difference? All right. If we go deep into the programming, you can realize that we use all these negative things to promote our power center. You know, we just do. So rather than looking at all the negative patterns, I said that once before, let's get with it then. Let's see what we can do to change the directive. Now here we go with love without end. Are you guys with me that so far? Yeah. Does everybody kind of see where there's areas where you... And if you can't see it, your friends will point it out to you. They're kind that way. All right. So we are talking now about moving our personality into a different mindset. That's our goal right now, because we're here on this planet to further the work of God. All right, she is asking Jesus, she takes this question further, and she's saying, well, how do we find success on this plane of existence? So here's the 4 points. Ready? Number 1, be the love that you are. You are being the likeness of God, present here upon the earth. You are a being, the likeness of God, present here upon the earth to forward the creations of your Father in whatever situations you find yourself. When we are the love we are in everything, not just regard to our desire, but in everything, be the love that you are, what will that do to you? What does that do to your personality if you are the love you are? You're kinder, you're softer, you're more aware of life around you, you are more aware of your own value, you're more aware of not having to achieve, not having to prove something to feel good about yourself. When you are the love you are, you're actually feeling good about yourself. So you're allowing it to express. Man resorts to control when love is missing. So if you're into controlling something, if you're trying to control circumstances, people, or things, realize that you're missing the love you are. So if we can stop and go, okay, where's the love I am, that will put us back into the space of receptivity, and we don't have to control it anymore. This is something that hit me very deeply. One of the most refreshing realizations that you may have in being the love that you are is a greater feeling of restfulness. Anybody on a tear this month? Like just busy, 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 busy. You go to bed, you come up, you're busy again. And it's like crazy. So as we can be the love the universe will give me, yes, I'm claiming it, the universe will give me moments of restfulness. Because as I'm working in love, I am not deriving myself. I am flowing. How beautiful would that be? Now, I'm not creating anything. I'm not focusing my energy. I'm not commanding myself to do anything. I'm just asking myself to be in love. It's a simple thing. All right. The second principle is do the right thing. And then he goes on a long dissertation about morality is not the right thing. What somebody expects for you is not the right thing. None of that is the right thing. You have to ask yourself, what is the highest and best for me in this situation? What is the highest and best for this situation? And that is the right thing. When you can get into your own heart, does this work for me or does it not? What's my highest and best here? And move toward that without worrying about expectations of others. And even metaphysical Christians, we still worry about people, don't we? We still worry about they're going to think less of me. Well, if they do, they do. Did you become any less? No. But if they do, they do. It's okay. or you'll disappoint them. If you do, you do. That's their expectation. But when you present yourself as love and you're doing what's good for you, you know what they really walk away from is knowing that you actually did not hurt them. You were standing in your own space of love. You didn't intend to hurt anybody. You were just saying, this doesn't work for me right now. And they will recognize that even while they're mad at you. See? So the right thing is what serves me and what serves the situation. Okay? Are you good with that? The third principle is to follow life in the living. Look for the new alignments, opportunities, and understandings which will refresh your life. So as I read that, being seasoned, as I am, and I'm not only seasoned this lifetime, guys, I've been here a lot. Not always great successes either. But this came to me. How often have I had the very same argument with Patrick? And I know it's going to end up the exact same way it always has for the last 100 times. I'm going to say, but you don't hear me. He's going to say, but you don't hear me. And I'm going to say, but you need to do this. He's going to say, but you need to do this. And we're fighting over silly things, other people. We fight over God sometimes. We just fight over principles. And at the end of the day, he doesn't change. I don't know why. Because he doesn't change because he believes what he believes. And you guess what? It serves him to believe that. But I will go at it again. Until recently as a seasoned person. And it's funny, as you start walking down that path and you go, oh yes, I remember this journey. Here's my weapon of choice here. There's my other weapon over there, and I can throw that at him over there. Yeah, I've got my arguments all lined up. Been this road 1,000,000 times. To stop and realize, is this for good? Does this support our exchange of life? Or in the end, it's not the words that hurt us, it's the energy that hurts us. In the end, are we actually pulling each other down? Because he's going to believe what he's going to believe based on his journey. I'm going to believe what I'm going to believe based on my journey. And they're both fine positions. Neither one of them is wrong. They're fine. Both of them are good positions. It's just not my way. Becoming aware when you are starting to move. Am I moving toward repeating something that is taking me around a circle of not growth and life? Or am I willing to set it down, take a breath, and try something new? Try something new. And in our world, if anybody has a business that you run or anything, it is changing. How people perceive you, what they want from you, all of these things is changing. So, and I know you guys love our new advertising that the Haley and Juan have been doing for us, yes? Do you think I could have done it? No. I could not have done it because it wasn't in me to do. It's not my thing. I could not do that. But Patrick had a meeting, and he brought the young people in. He said, y'all help us out. And they went, we will. Sure, we had a whole group of young people because they could see it. What did I have to do? I had to say, okay. You got it, guys. And was I attached to all those beautiful little sayings that I would post that were multicolored and very old? Yes, I was. And I love them. They're beautiful. But they are not the vibration for the new. So we have to give up good for greater good sometimes, because greater good takes us to greater life. So we move from where we're comfortable and definitely move from the spin of death. Definitely move from the spin of death. You know, if you go to, or you have any relationship with anyone and you feel you're stuck at any point, whatever that might be, just stand there and go, okay. We are in divergent camps. I still love you. You still love me. Let's go get dinner. Very simple. We just don't agree on that point. So there we go. We're going to avoid that point. That's you. This is me. Do you see how simple it is in theory? When your personality kicks in, This is when you have to consciously remind yourself, I am moving toward life. I'm moving toward life. You know, when our country was formed, they took the Indian nation, was it the Iroquois? I believe it was Iroquois. And they took their pattern of how they created their government and they mocked it to create the United States with this various levels of Senate and blah, blah, blah. But the one thing that that nation did, the Native Americans that were here, every single appointment of a tribal chief had to be approved of by the grandmothers because they knew the women would support something that was life-affirming. The warriors would go out glory. They could have killed the whole tribe. We're going to go for glory. We're going to all go die today. Yeah, the grandmothers would go, no, we're not doing that today. So you're going to appoint a different tribe, a different chief of your tribe, because we need to live. So the idea of moving toward life was in their culture. We didn't add that part to our government, but it would have been a good idea. But do you see how affirming life in your personality, does this bring me life or am I on a dead spin? And sometimes when we're on a dead spin, we do hurt or harm. We don't mean to, but we do. Okay, that was number 3. Do you see how easy all this stuff is? Yes? All right. Yeah, okay. When decisions arise, just ask yourself, does it support the living or the dying? Many of your situations are mixed with both. Find the life and follow it. And you're being the love you are, and you're doing what your heart says is the right thing. So you're following the life. Okay. Then he's saying how important that is, and then she says, but there's 4. He goes, oh yeah, there is 4. It's forgiveness, the 4th principle. And Jesus said, one of the miracles about forgiving is that you cut away anything from the past that did not work for you. People are stuck with the dead and dying because they won't forgive. They hang on to grudges as if they were sacred treasures. I went through this difficult situation, therefore it's a part of my identity, yay me. Well, if it's become part of my identity, I wear my war wounds on my skin. It's part of my identity. Am I going to give them up? No, because I have to keep talking about them because they're who I am. They made me who I am. Grudges weigh upon you and distract you from focusing toward success. So this is what he said. If souls were compared to moving vehicles, an unforgiving soul would seem as a dump truck with 10 cans dragging off the back side. Clatter, clatter, clang, clang. If you listen, you can hear them coming. So an unforgiving soul looks like a dump truck, carrying all the grudges and all the hatred and all the blame and all the this and all of that in their vehicle. And then she goes on to say she found that very intriguing, so she started watching people at the mall. And so she actually noticed dump trucks, and then she actually notices what she calls Porsches. And Porsches are fun and moving and having a good time. They're sleek. And she said most Porsches were children. So she could see the difference. Those that are willing to forgive and move on have a freer flow in life. So forgiveness. We know its the purpose is to release the negative attachments so true enlightenment can be attained. The reason to forgive is to store love. And if you really look at anything that you've judged as whatever, and you look at the participation of you and the person involved in a higher light, you have to look at it in a higher light, then you can understand what your position was. What were you seeking to gain? Why did that offend you? Why are you mad at that? What were you attached to? What did you really want that you could not achieve? And once you get clear, everything melts. The person's energy melts. The person's visual melts. And it's like, okay, I see how I created that which I could not forgive. That was for me. I created that for me so I could learn to let go and forgive. Thank you. And the participant normally is innocently walking away. You're welcome, they say. I did that for you. You see? It blesses all of us, actually. So forgiveness was the 4th. Those are your 4 points. Now, as we talk about these things, think about your personality. Think about the personality, the jazzy personality that you are. Okay, I'm going to be jazzy, jazzy, jazzy. Okay, how can I be love and still be jazzy? Can you? Sure. How can I do the right thing and still make everybody love me? Yeah, make everybody love me. It doesn't work that way, does it? And if I do the right thing, what's right for me, am I going to have maybe a little more limited spectrum of friends, perhaps? Maybe. We don't know. But my personality has to be okay with it. How do I follow life in the living? How do I follow life in the living? If my personality can accept that, then how I go out in the world, opportunities will open up for me of life. And people who need to feel dead and dying will not talk to me. People who want to feel alive will. But if they want to stay in the spin because it's part of their identity, they won't. And how I forgive. Passed by the sins of others. Jesus said, if you want to be forgiven for all the stuff that you have consciously done on purpose, whack somebody, damn karma, I'm going to do it anyway. You know, if you want to consciously be forgiven, you pass by the sins of others. And I have to pull that one out all the time when not human people, but business dealings, personal business dealings, that wasn't represented correctly, blah, blah, blah. Pass by the sins of others, Cindy. Pass by the sins of others. If we can do that, then forgiveness is, we're living forgiveness. We're living forgiveness. You know? And that's a tricky one, because you'll have to do that. You'll have to forgive on every level. You'll have financial issues you have to forgive. You'll have emotional issues you have to forgive. You'll have to forgive work issues. We have to learn to move on every aspect of our life in that forgiveness mode, as well as being love, as well as doing the right thing, as well as living for life. Think about if our personalities did that. Would we be beaming? Would we be sparkly? Would people love us? Would we love ourselves? That's the most important thing. So our self-inventory really is about finding a way to live here in this dimension without getting caught into the idea that what is in the dimension is more important than I am. How I'm navigating is more important than I am. You know, that is letting the personality enjoy this space and being therefore able to create in love. So if we take it back to our manifestation of the car, if I'm happy, I'm being loved, don't you think I'm going to get a great dealer? I'm going to have the best dealership experience. If I'm making the right decision, even if I have a great dealership experience and the deal comes to me and I go, is this for me? You know, I've really enjoyed talking to you. It's fabulous, but you know, I'm getting the hit that this isn't for me. I need to keep moving on. Do you see? Do you see? Most dealers are programmed to make you feel guilty. They're trained. They go to school. They go to school for that. Yeah, it's part of their job. So we have to say, no. Is it for me? Is it not for me? And then move toward the living. What would make me be thrilled? And God, I don't know what it is. That looked really good, but you're telling me no. Take me where I need to be. And you go home. You don't be mad at them. You don't be mad at anybody. And then the salesman calls you in 2 days and says, okay, I got you another $10,000 off. Come get your car. And you go, wait. Is that for me? Say, let me check with God again, because that may not be the reason. And you get your yes or no. But we're living the personality that allows for the easy manifestation of dreams. So we worked on our desire bodies, letting God in. We worked on our brains last week, getting our thoughts clear. Piper. And now we're working on actually trying to shift the personality. And when we talk about this, and we'll do our meditation, but how does it set with you? Do you feel like I'm a nice person? Do you feel grating on you? Do you feel like I don't want to change? I like how I am. I like being talky. I like being dominant. I like making people laugh. All the things that you're attached to with your personality. Anybody feeling that? I don't want to give that up. Trust me, when you give it up, you're better. When you give up some of these things that you do, because they're just energy expressions that are not going forward. They're energy expressions that's not going forward. When I was in corporate, when I was really changing my life to meditate every day, I was in corporate. I'd been there for a year. They all knew me, kind of. And I was so funny. Because that was my job. I was in accounting. I mean, come on, that's boring. So at lunch, I was always the jokester. I always told jokes, and most of them were quite risque. And, And I was the one that, we went to party. Let's ask Cindy. She's pretty wild and crazy. So I started doing my meditation. I started really realizing that those were not life-affirming for me. I need to go a different direction. And I literally had one of the girls, who I didn't know well at all, she didn't work in my area, come sit in front of me on my desk, and she said, "All right, Cindy, you got to tell me the truth. What are you doing? Because you are so different." And I told her. And she started coming to the church that I was going to, and she herself got involved in metaphysics because it was a marked difference. And did people want to have lunch with me anymore? Nope. I wasn't funny anymore. I was still loving, kind, and all those other things. But I wasn't the identity that I had survived on for the first 20-something years of my life. But I became an identity that was more me, more real, more true to who I am. So anything that you shift on these principles in the personality and how you express is going to aid in your manifestations. It's going to aid in your self-worth. It's going to aid in the people or relationships around you, because it's letting the God in you express through love, because God is love. Is this not the simplest thing in the world? All right, let's take it within. And just breathe and feel that beautiful light of Father, Mother, God pouring through you. See a column of light coming over you. And today I want you to notice the color that you get. What color is your light? For it has a healing energy in it today. And as you stand in your column of light, sit in your light, let yourself lift up now. Lifting up above the challenges into clarity and peace. And I want you to just find yourself standing in a space that's open. Feel Jesus Christ joining you there. And see a beautiful ball of light open up, and you'll see yourself. And just get a glimpse of a part of your personality that you're very comfortable with. It doesn't have to be constrictive. It could be lovely. But let a part of your personality appear before you. And just notice, this is how I express my Christ. This is how I am choosing to express my divinity. And it may be great, it may be fabulous. Maybe something you want to look at. And as you see that, I want you to send a ray of love to your personality. I know your goodness. I know your intention. And I love you. And as you breathe that personality into your body. And feel, I now choose to express my God self in a life-affirming way, however that might be. Feel your heart, feel the love. And I want you to get back in your column of light. And as you do, notice the color. Is it the same? Has it changed? Feel the color. Breathe that color in. I am learning to love myself, and I am learning to express that love. Just allow yourself to come back into the room, feel your feet on the floor, the love of God surrounding you. Take a breath, send your love into the room, and say, I am child of God. And I am here to love. We thank you, God. And so it is. Could you feel the beautiful energy moving through you? The calm of light? And most of you, I know, maybe some of the shifts that we need to do is just conscious awareness. When we're moving into those little moments when we're not activated the way we want to. I know for the most part our intention is fabulous, isn't it? We're loving, aren't we? We're forgiving, aren't we? Yes. Yeah. We just need to be mindful of those moments when we're not. Say, yay, God. Yay, God.